Alright, so welcome. What I'm going to show you today in this video, I'm going to show you how to fill a countersunk hole in a project. So here I've taken two pieces of wood and I've screwed them together. This is not a project, this is just a sample. But I wanted to show you, so these holes are countersunk holes cut with a countersink bit, which you should already know how to use. And when you're finishing off your project, you don't want to see those holes in your project. And so what I'm going to show you how to do is to cut these wooden plugs on the drill press and then put them in the holes and sand them down. Before I do that, I want you to notice a couple of things. So first of all, I don't know if you can see this or not, but these wooden plugs, they have a thick end and a thin end. So my index finger is resting on the thin end. And that means basically that these things are like wedges. So when they go in the hole, all right, when I put it in the hole, if I try to put the thick end in, it doesn't fit in the hole, it won't go in. But if I try to put the thin end in, the thin end does go in. And then you put some glue on it and you sand it down. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you how to do. Let me set these aside. You come to this drill press, and in the shop here we always try and keep this drill press set up with this bit. It's called a plug cutter bit or plug cutting bit, and it's a hollow drill bit, and it will cut those plugs. So here I go. I'm going to take a piece of scrap wood. Make sure you take it like something small that we probably cannot use in the shop. Take it from the pile of short pieces. Don't take a nice long piece and drill holes in the middle of it, because then we can't use the piece. So here we go. Turn it on. Now notice something. When I did that, I brought the drill bit down and I was very gentle toward the end. Just give it a couple of taps. Don't try and go too deep. If you go too deep, you'll snap the plug off in the hole, and then you have to clear it out of the bit. Anyway, that's it. So here's what that looks like. You've got a couple of plugs cut. Now to get them out, you take a nail or you take something sharp. In this case, I've got one end of the drill bit, and you reach down inside the hole and you just snap them out of there. And make sure that you snap them, try to snap them right at their base so that the plug stays as long as possible. And out they come. So there are two plugs, and now let's go over to the other table here and we're going to put them in. So here we are. I have the plugs. The other thing I have some paper towel, some glue, and a sanding block, sandpaper, and I also have this, which hangs in the tool cabinet. This is not a putty knife, even though some people insist on using it as a putty knife. This is a special saw. It's called a flush cutting saw, and if you notice on the blade it says this side up, and you'll see what that means in a second. Okay, so you get that, and let's see here. All right, I'm going to put it right there. You take some glue and make a little puddle of glue. Make a little puddle of glue on a paper towel. Take your bits here, or sorry, take your plugs here. Remember, there's a thin end and a thicker end, so make sure you know which one is which. And you're going to coat it in glue and then put it in the hole. And when you put it in the hole, I want you to line up the grains. So, what do I mean by that? I mean that wood always has a grain direction, and I'll show you in a second here. So even these plugs, okay, even these plugs, let's see here, have a direction on the grain. So I've lined up the grain on the plug in the same direction as the grain on the wood. Just have a look from the lines on the plug. That's the first one. Here goes the second one. And there. They go in. I didn't bring a hammer or a mallet over, but you would just lightly tap those down. I can even use something like this. Just tap them down into the hole. Okay. And when you do this, I want you to leave it for, you first wipe the glue off, and then I want you to leave it for 15 minutes or so until the glue just sets on the surface there before cutting it off. I'm going to cut it off right away just because I'm filming a video. So here we go. With this saw, it says this side up, and so you keep it like this. Okay, this side up, and you start to cut. Now I'm going to make a suggestion, and that is that you take a piece of old sandpaper, not that this one's old, but this is what I have right here, and you put it over with the grit side facing down, put it on your wood like this, because just in case these flush cut saws are supposed to protect the wood around the bit around the plug as you cut, but it isn't always the case. So just sand it down, cut it off like that, and then you're going to go to the belt sander or get the palm sander out, or even a sanding block by hand, and you're going to sand these things down. Okay, I'll just start the process right now. Okay, so those are filled. Okay. One last suggestion. You notice these plugs are a little bit lighter in color. You can spend some time in the scrap pile of wood, finding some wood that is similar in color to your project. Or, if you're cutting pieces for your project, keep a couple of the offcuts so that you can cut plugs from there, and the grain will match, or the coloring will match. Okay, on your project. And that is it. Thank you very much.